Live in the Triangle, this is NBC 17 News at 6.
Some aid groups say Haiti is at its turning point nearly 2 years after that devastating earthquake. Back in January 2010, the quake killed more than 300,000 people. UNICEF says it's making progress in the recovery, but it's moving slowly. Hundreds of thousands of Haitians still live in tents and shacks with no running water, no electricity. We're joined by Dr. Orelien, who is a Haitian American who's helping with that recovery in his country. Dr. Orelien, thank you so much for coming in and talking to us. What are you doing? Well, first of all, before we get to what you're doing, the last 2 years there's been a lot of effort to try to get Haiti back on its feet again. How has that transformation happened since the earthquake happened 2 years ago?
I think it's happening slowly. As you said earlier, there are still a lot of people living in tents and makeshift tents, not even tents. However, I think there is progress.
What sort of progress have you seen?
The progress that I've seen is construction. I mean, so you go into a hotel in Haiti, it's hard to even get a room. It's hard to get a car rental. And I think the reason is that you're seeing a lot of aid workers, but you're also seeing people from the private enterprises. There are new hotels being built. There's a new university being built in the Northeast. So, you know, the airport is being reconstructed. So there are movement from the point of aid workers, but also the private enterprise, which is giving me a lot of hope. And I have more hope from the private enterprise, more so than the aid groups. And
so what part have you played in all of this? Because you've been traveling back and forth.
Sure. The role that I've played is that right after the earthquake, I went with a group of fellow statisticians to look at what was happening and to help in assessing the impact. And I've also gone back as a Haitian American, a citizen, and an investor to look at ways that I could help my home country.
Sure. And a lot of people who see that devastation, they sort of get overwhelmed trying to figure out what they can do to make a difference. Do you still suggest that Americans donate to UNICEF and other agencies to try to get Haiti back on its feet?
Well, I think it's like, you know, someone who has cancer, was in pain. You still need to give them some pain medicine while you're working on a long-term solution. So I say aid is the Band-Aid solution as we're working on the long-term solution. And so, yes, I'd say give aid to help with the Band-Aid, but also, if you can, invest in the long-term solution, which is invest in companies that are working in the private sector in Haiti.
All right, Dr. Orelien, thank you so much for talking to us.